BEIN TV, connected to your world.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to BEIN News Updates, bringing you news that made headlines during the week, broadcasting from Benab House, Atomic Junction, Medina. My name is Khadija Kubra Keilani. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube at BEIN TV. Now the stories in details. The Municipal Chief Executive of La Nkwantanai Medina Municipal Assembly, Jennifer Dede Ajabin, has led the official opening of Type 1 Diabetes Clinic at Sanford Health Center to mark the 2022 World Diabetes Day. This year's World Diabetes Day global celebration is on the theme, Education to Protect Tomorrow.
Statistics available to the National Diabetes Association indicate that there are more than 4 million diabetic patients in the country aged between 34 and 64. Sonia Nabita and Sanford World Clinic partnered a joint program named SNF Clinic at Sanford to support the Ministry of Health objective of improving access to health care for children with type 1 diabetes (TID) in Ghana. In his address, the president of Sanford World Clinic, Dr. Kudu Taylor, said despite the high prevalence of the disease in Ghana, people do not have access to good care and described the situation as worrying, but went further to add that it is important to have knowledgeable patients who can look after themselves.
You see, it's important for us to be ready for patients who are knowledgeable. The reason is, in any given year, a diabetic patient sees the doctor for just few hours. In any given year, just few hours. However, thousands of the remaining hours, the patients must look after themselves. So this is not a disease that is simply solved simply by the doctor or the caregiver. The patient actually plays a very important role, and a lot of it. And so it's important for us to be able to educate the patient. Education is key, very important.
For her part, the founder and executive director of SNF, Ms. Vivian Nabita, noticed that TID in Africa is buried under the shroud of confusion and misconception.
Type 1 diabetes is buried under a shroud of confusion and misconceptions. When you hear diabetes, you might think of a disease caused by a poor diet, a lack of exercise, and other conscious lifestyle decisions. We have also heard that people say that diabetes is a disease not for children, but only old people get diabetes. And I'm sure our little warriors here today have encountered this as well. Type 1 diabetes does not have a known cause. It is not preventable. It is not curable. No amount of exercise is going to reverse type 1 diabetes. It is a condition where the immune system attacks the cells in the pancreas that produce insulin. For you and me, those cells produce insulin that converts glucose from the food we eat into energy, allowing the brains and the body to work, to function properly. In children like Philippa and Rachel and people with type 1 diabetes, the pancreas cannot produce insulin, so they need externally administered insulin to regulate their blood glucose levels. In short, they need external insulin to survive, and without this insulin, they die.
Now, the MCE for La Nkwantanai Medina, who also doubles as the guest of honor for the event, said it is very likely unintentionally sleep diagnosis for TID, especially in children, because the symptoms are largely the same as symptoms of common disease in children, but acknowledged that the presence of the clinic at Sanford provides the opportunity to leave no stone unturned. She therefore called on all health practitioners and parents to pay attention and make sure not to sleep diagnosis, since early detection is key to ensuring that medication is administered on time to ensure a long and healthy life for people living with TID.
That it is very typical for us to let type 1 diabetes diagnosis slip when you go to the hospital. Because we're looking at the fevers, we're looking at malaria, and very common diseases in children. I mean, nobody will think of a child having diabetes. It is rare that any doctor or medical health worker would want to look in that direction as the first form of diagnosis. But this gives us an opportunity for us to look in that way.
Beyond reaching out to the constituent through social medical project, he has also taken an initiative to sponsor pieces of legislative parliament that seeks to protect the interests of the most vulnerable, particularly with children with cancers, tumors, among other illnesses.
I am willing and ready to partner with the Sony Foundation because we have a medical project that I've established in my office. I can see the deputy CEO of the medical project. She's around. Lydia, please rise up. Let's acknowledge you. And I can see our administrator still in the house. Oh, please rise up. Let's acknowledge you. You can see that they are wearing the social medical outreach team, because what we do is every quarter we try to select a particular community, then we can reach out to the community and we do screening. But I think that with this awareness, I mean, one of the focal points of our screening when it comes 2023 is going to be diabetes, so that we can partner you so we can, do this across the constituency.
The Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has cautioned traders in the markets who sell adulterated foodstuffs to desist from the act or face the full rigors of the law. The Ashanti Regional Head of the Food and Drugs Authority, John Laye Odei-Tete, made this known at a Women Empowerment Conference for market women in Kumasi in the Ashanti region.
The attention of the FDA was drawn to the fact that some food items in the market, such as palm oil, honey, powdered pepper, and powdered tomatoes, are mixed with certain items which are not good for human consumption. Some of the market women claim that those who deal in powdered tomatoes used corn flour and food color to make it red and sell it to unsuspecting buyers. For palm oil, which is not a new thing, some traders still mix them with Sudan ivy, popularly known as Sudin, which is poisonous, and others also add color and other mixtures to powdered pepper to make it red. Another issue that popped up was that some bakers add cassava flour, also known as kokunte powder, to baking flour in producing bread. The women then asked the Food and Drugs Authority to frequent the markets to help sanitize the market of these unscrupulous traders, as the fake products have the potential to affect health of consumers negatively. Mr. Tete confirmed the allegation by the market women and warned those involved, as the FDA is on high alert to bring perpetrators to book. He says the FDA has sampled several products sold in the market that are potentially adulterated, like palm oil, powdered pepper, and other products, and we are moving step by step. He says if the FDA detects that any product has contaminants, those involved will be arrested and prosecuted. He says very soon the FDA will meet the market women and discuss issues because they have a serious role to play.
The National Tri-Party Committee, NTC, made up of the governments, organized labor and employers, agreed on the new wages below which no one should be paid. The new minimum wage will take effect from January 1st, 2023. The committee concluded on this new wage after a meeting held on Wednesday, November 16, 2022.
The tripartite committee said in arriving at this new wage, it took into account the current economic challenges, cost of living, sustainability of businesses, and desirability of attaining a higher level of employment, as well as the need for rapid restoration of economic stability. The release said an increase in the daily minimum wage by 10% over the 2022 wage translates into 14.88 and a cost of living allowance of 15% over the 2023 national daily minimum wage. It also recommended that the new minimum wage should be tax exempt. It is expected that effective January 2023, all institutions or organizations that flout the revised wage will be sanctioned in accordance with the law. The release was signed on behalf of the government by the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafuewia, the President of the Ghana Employees Association, GEA, Danny Champon, on behalf of employers, and the Secretary General of Traders Union and the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Anthony Yauba, on behalf of organized labor. According to Section 113 of Act 651, the National Tripartite Committee determines the national daily minimum wage and advises the government on employment and labor issues.
Also in politics, 98 new Patriotic Party members of Parliament have resolved to boycott the budget presentation and all finance ministry business should the president refuse to sack Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta immediately. This new number is an increase from the previous 80 MPP MPs who had earlier demanded the removal of the Finance Minister and the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edu Boahin.
According to the Member of Parliament for Asante Achim North and the Apia Kubi, who doubles as spokesperson for the group, Ofori-Atta's position in government has become untenable, hence the fresh demand for his resignation. His comment comes after the group had earlier relaxed its demand following a meeting with the President Nana Akufo-Addo. In a statement signed by Majority Leader Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu, President Akufo-Addo had appealed for the sector minister to be allowed to stay till after the budget presentation. But Apia Kubi said the MPs have gone back to their demand for the president to sack the finance minister now, and therefore should the budget be presented under the stamp of the finance minister, they will not participate because as far as they are concerned, they are never going to do business with him. He says the only way the president will get them to participate in the budget presentation and appropriation is if someone else from government is appointed to present the budget.
The Tema Oil Refinery is yet to resume processing crude oil 8 months after a new managing director and board were appointed. Current managing director Jerry K. Henson and board of directors were appointed on March 2nd, 2022.
Institute for Energy Policies and Research, an energy think tank, says the situation is becoming worrying as the refinery is yet to resume operations or even chart a pathway to restart operations. Executive Director for the think tank, Kojo N. Puku, says the question on the minds of most Ghanaians is why is Tema Oil Refinery not working? He lamented that in recent months there have been over 150% increase in prices of petroleum products. He said rising cost of fuel products has brought immense hardship on the average Ghanaian through the increase in the prices of goods and transport, with a capacity to process 45,000 BPSD. He said the refinery, if revived, could help caution consumers against fuel prices. He explained that it was high time the country prioritized processing crude locally, since imports only contribute to high fuel prices, currency depreciation, and ultimately economic hardship. According to the think tank, the government, which is the majority shareholder in the refinery, has been quiet on any plans to get the refinery working to caution the suffering of Ghanaians.
Also in other stories, some 75 students have been displaced after fire devastated the boys' dormitory of the Koforidua Technical Institute late Monday night. The dormitory in the New Drabin North Municipality School in the eastern region went up in flames at almost midnight. The blaze destroyed 4 rooms before it was quenched by fire officers from causing further harm.
8 of the 75 occupants suffered minor injuries and were taken to the hospital for care. Only one of them remains on admission at the St. Joseph's Hospital in Koforidua. The cause of the inferno is not known as of now, but fire experts suspect it could have been sparked by an electrical fault. The school authorities have appealed to the public for aid. A member of parliament for the New Drabin North constituency, Nana Eje Boatin, has also donated 20,000 Ghana cedis to the school to mitigate the effects of the disaster.
Also in international fronts, former U.S. President Donald Trump has launched his third bid for the White House. Mr. Trump's announcement comes as some fellow Republicans blame him for the party's uninspiring performance in last week's midterm elections.
Speaking to an invited crowd from his Mar-a-Lago private club in Palm Beach on Tuesday night, Mr. Trump said America is a nation in decline. He said in order to make America great and glorious again, he is announcing his candidacy for President of the United States. Shortly before the speech, he filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission, formally declaring his presidential candidacy and setting up a fundraising account. His speech touched on border security, energy independence, and crime, as well as attacks on Mr. Biden's record in office. His wife, Melania Trump, joined on stage at the end of the speech, but there were fewer family members present than at some of his past events, and Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump did not attend. Although Mr. Trump is the first to enter the race and instantly becomes the frontrunner, he is expected to face challenges. They may include his own former Vice President Mike Pence and rising star Gloria Governor Ron DeSantis. President Joe Biden, who defeated Mr. Trump 2 years ago, has said he may run for re-election in 2024.
And this is all we have for you on our English news updates. For more news stories, log on to our website www.beinamultimedia.com. My name is Khadija Kubra Keilani. Many thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of our programs. Assalamu alaikum.